Talk to me. WSRadio.com.
Welcome to Track Talk, your connection coast to coast and beyond in all the latest news, developments, stake race analysis, and interviews inside the world of thoroughbred horse racing. From California to New York, Florida, and Kentucky, we have you covered. It's post time, live from San Diego. It's Track Talk.
And we welcome you from San Diego, a little overcast, June gloom here in America's finest city. So will we see the sun? I would think we will before we get off the air, and we welcome you on a Sunday morning live across the country, worldwide, WSRadio.com. We are so pleased to have you join us. If you're a first-time listener, welcome aboard. We've been on this trail a long time. And the end of the road comes today, the closing of Santa Anita, and then we'll get geared up for a couple weeks of racing at Los Al here in Southern California, Orange County to be exact, and then we'll set our sights on Del Mar opening day, Wednesday, July 17th, and it can't come quick enough. And if you are listening from afar, you know that California has had its troubles since the opening of Santa Anita. We can go a lot of different ways with it, and we're going to be discussing that here on this edition of Track Talk. So let's get started by going inside the studio with my main man, Tommy D. He's fighting off a little June cold, a little headache, maybe a case of the flu. But you're a true warrior, Tommy D. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Good to be here. Thanks for listening this Sunday. Yeah, talking horses, horse racing, the sport that we love, Felix. So a great day yesterday of racing across the country. We had some news, but we'll be talking about that moving forward. And a great day overall, I think.
Did you get a chance to watch the Ohio Derby by any chance?
I did, actually. I did get to see it. Owendale, much the best in the race. But, that math wizard, put on a little bit of a fight. Long range Toddy too far back. But overall, Owendale, much the best in the race, I believe.
We had racing at New York, down in Florida, Kentucky, California. The racing at Santa Anita as we wind up here today, a mandatory payout, about $68,000 in that Rainbow Pick 6. It was a mandatory payout last Sunday, and I think it returned $19,000. I can't think anymore because we got a listener that's been battling us, and every word that we say, he's been countering his opinion, and he says you got to be prepared. Okay, so I'm going to go on a limb right here, and I'm going to say that Pick 6 paid $19,000 last Sunday, $68,000. There was about $5 million in that pool last Sunday. I don't know if it'll get up to that today, but it'll be up to $200,000-$300,000, I would assume. And 20-cent bet, you gotta play it.
Yeah, I mean it's an option to try to get some money back here before the meet closes, Santa Anita. So. It's been a tough one there, but, we're all looking forward to the summer Del Mar, Saratoga, right around the corner, my favorite time of the year.
Yeah, they had that permanently disabled jockey fund or gathering yesterday at Santa Anita, and I thought it was well done. Santa Anita did a great job, without any doubt. They had Pat Day, and one of my favorites of all time. Always good seeing him and talking with him. I got a chance to talk with him during the Breeders' Cup here at Del Mar, and that was Sandy Hawley. And so when you say there's always a chance, he was the Sandman. He was the get-out guy. The last race, you always bet Sandy Hawley if he had a mount because he would get you out. There's still a get-out time today at Santa Anita, the final 10 races. All righty. So as we proceed on this Sunday morning, it has been, without any doubt, one of the ugliest, dreadful Santa Anita meetings we've ever had. And it's been painful. It's been painful to you, Tommy D. It's been painful for me, and I'm sure thousands and thousands of others who, make Santa Anita and horse racing their livelihood extremely painful. And there was a piece on CNN, a lot of media attention over the last 3, 4, 5, 6 months, whatever the case might be. ABC, NBC, CNN, Fox, you go anywhere, it's been out there a very hitting piece on Friday night by CNN, and it showcased the ugly run that Santa Anita is having. And there was a lot of garbage that was thrown out there. And, everybody is taking a stand, from the Senator Dianne Feinstein to the governor, to the district attorney, to PETA, to all the media outlets. And it has been extremely unfortunate because, as I've always said, and I believe this in my heart, we need Santa Anita more than ever. With the closing of Hollywood Park, it has thrown California racing into a real tough situation, without any doubt about that. Not only for the racing, but for the boarding and what have you. But yesterday morning, a horse from Jerry Hollendorfer's barn worked, and on the training track, he had to be euthanized. And we are being joined right now with trainer Jerry Hollendorfer. Jerry, at top of the morning, thanks for joining us.
Okay, thank you.
Jerry, I know it's been a trying 48 hours for you. You were told that you had to vacate your stalls, not only at Santa Anita, but at Golden Gate. Within 72 hours. Can you comment on how you're feeling about all that has transpired?
Well, I mean, just what you said is the facts of things. We haven't had good luck here at Santa Anita, and some bad luck at Golden Gate too. We haven't changed any of our policies about what we do with our horses every day, and we look at them as closely as anybody in the entire industry. So I stand behind that, and the people that are helping me look at these horses. So the facts are, we had 4 horses injured here or euthanized here at Santa Anita, and then Mr. Rippo told me yesterday that Belinda Stronach did not want me on the grounds anymore, either at Golden Gate or Santa Anita. So we're making arrangements to ship the horses to other locations.
How were you told, Jerry? Were you told by a statement, or did Tim Rippo come and visit you personally?
No, Tim asked me to come to his office, which I did underneath the grandstand there, and he told me there.
Jerry, is there anything in retrospect that you would do different? I mean, like you said, I think everybody associated with the game and knows anything about Jerry Hollendorfer. You're a Hall of Fame trainer. You work very hard, very diligently. 3 o'clock in the morning, your team is ready. It's all about racing, racing, and racing. But in retrospect, would there have been any changes that you would have in training the equines that had to be euthanized?
Well, I would have to say no because, in all you're talking about due diligence, we did that every day with these horses, and we certainly wouldn't take a horse out and race the horse and or work it, unless we were assured that the horse is going to be okay. So, I mean, in those the 2 horses in the races that broke out, they were looked at by a lot of different people, a lot of different vets, and these vets here in California, they're very strict about things and go over everything really more than any other place that
Jerry Hollendorfer joining us live from Santa Anita. Jerry, losing one horse is painful, but how are you dealing with the pain? This has to be extremely painful for you to not being able to stable at Golden Gate as well as Santa Anita. How are you feeling about the pain? And I'm sure that you woke up this morning and you had a flurry of thoughts that run through your mind. How painful is it for you?
Well, I don't don't know. I'm worried mostly about the folks that are working here and have to go to another location. Fortunately, our folks are going to want to go with us, but these people depend on me for their livelihoods, and so that's the hardest part of it. And the facts are the facts. They don't want me here, so I have to go somewhere else. And I can tell you, it wasn't for lack of effort that the problems that we had. It wasn't for laziness or lack of effort. We've been on the ball every day, and all the folks that work for me too. So, we've started I've started a lot of horses in my career, 33,500, and we won 7,600 races, and we've been a viable entity in California for a lot of years. A lot of those years we made more than 1,000 starts. So, we've been pretty busy. So in that way, it hurts us, but we're trying to make the best of it.
Jerry Hollendorfer joining us. Jerry, Los Al has opened up. I know you have a string of horses that are stabled at Los Al in Orange County. Doc Allred has mentioned that you are welcome to stable your horses there. Del Mar has not released a statement as of yet. I think they will meet this week and decide on your fate. Have you given any thought about will you go to Los Al, and what about Del Mar coming up here in July?
Well, I don't know. We're hoping to be able to run some horses at Del Mar, and if I have to step away for a while, then I'm certainly willing to do that. But we'd like to be able to run our horses at Del Mar. We surely would.
Jerry, the reform, I have a little problem, and, I have not had not one happy day at Santa Anita over the last 7 months. It's just that when I walk into an OTB or be around anybody that's associated with racing and watching racing, the number one most frequent question to me is what's happening at Santa Anita. If I had $1 for everyone who's asked me that, then I could buy this radio station. But when we get back, we look at Santa Anita and the reform, and I call it maybe a rush to judgment, because I don't think any venue would have anticipated the hit that Santa Anita has taken from opening day to the present. But are we consistent in the reform? A trainer that has shipped a horse up to Northern California with fractured sesamoids and trying to get him entered into a race gets 30 days. You, who have had 4 horses that have been euthanized, get banned. And I don't know if it's a lifetime ban. Did they give you any indication on, how long that you'd be prevented from running there at a Stronach track? May it be Golden Gate, Santa Anita, Laurel, Gulfstream? Have they given you any idea? And what about the reform? Do you think it's been fair?
Well, I don't know. The only thing I can tell you is that of all the trainers that I know that here, whatever reforms were put out there, they were followed closely. And in our farm, I didn't break any rules or anything like that. So, I don't know if that goes into the question or not. But we didn't break any rules, and we were totally cooperative with the vets and the people coming around to look at the horses in every single situation. So that's all I can say. On the track sets their protocol for how they want to handle things, and so then then everybody has to go along with the protocol. So that one guy maybe sent a horse up to Golden Gate to try to run it, but that's the only one I know about.
So you have no legal recourse. Have you talked to any legal counsel? This is your livelihood. They're banning you from making a living. Is there any recourse on your part?
We're just concentrating right now on getting our horses moved and try to get our people settled and get them comfortable in their workplace. We're working on that. We haven't thought about any stuff like that.
How many horses do you have stabled at Santa Anita as well as Golden Gate, Jerry?
Well, we have a bunch. Altogether we have probably 100 horses. Or a little over that. So it's the logistics of it are a little bit difficult, but we're working on it as we speak.
Do you need places to house and barn, stable these horses? I mean, what do you do with all these 100 horses if you have to move them within a 72-hour span?
Well, I'll just be glad you don't have that problem, but we have the problem, and we've been pretty good problem solvers over the years. And so we'll work positively and be happy for the horses that we do have, and go from there and try to do the best we can.
Have you reached out to any farm owners, asking them for maybe a hand where that you can keep your horses until you figure everything out?
We're like I said, we're working on things right now, and we'll come up with a solution.
Now, you recently mentioned that you would be sending a string of horses to New York. Will that be amplified? Will there be more horses sent to New York now?
Well, that's a possibility. I'm all for California racing. And I think every contribution to a race here by a California trainer is an important thing, and you have to have a successful Los Alamitos and Del Mar and Santa Anita for everything to keep going. So every entry is important, and so that's the way that we look at it. And I'm not opposed to running in New York. I have some clients that want to be there this summer, and we're trying to take care of them that way and keep everybody happy. But, I just as soon run my horses here in California.
Well, you are one who kept racing alive in Northern California, and then you brought your string down here. You're a Hall of Fame trainer. You have trained magnificently throughout the years. I want to ask you as a friend. You and I have been friends for a long time. Every time we've called on you, you have responded by granting us an interview, and my heart is very heavy. It's heavy for the whole California racing sector. Thursday was a press conference up there that was well attended by the backstretch workers of Santa Anita, which I thought was just marvelous. It was organized so beautifully, and it showed unification, which we need. What has been the problem, Jerry? If you were talking with me just one-on-one, what has been the problem from the outset at Santa Anita?
Well, I don't know. You're asking me to identify things that might not be readily identifiable. Some people have ideas about what happens, and other people have other ideas. You see it on TV every night, the dichotomy. So, I don't know, I just try to do the best that I can every day. And going back to what you said before about the workers showing that they wanted to keep working here in California and staying on the job here at Santa Anita, it is very important what goes on here. A lot of jobs and economy comes out of a relatively small, considering, Santa Anita. It's a small place, but a lot of economy comes out of here.
And a lot of money as well. I mean, let's face it, racing in California provides the state with, a large sum of money on claims and what have you, taxes and a piece of the pie with a takeout and, all that goes into racing. Tommy D, I have never seen anything like it in my career of horse racing. I think I speak for a lot of folks that it's with heavy hearts that we close today at Santa Anita. Maybe not with a heavy heart, maybe with an anticipation of letting Santa Anita get back to square one, get back to level footing. No pun intended there, because I have the utmost respect for the people at Santa Anita. Nate Newby, are the fellows who bring it. Peter, Tom Quigley, who does that Quigley's Corner handicapping and providing the fans with everything. The trainers, the owners, the grooms, the hot walkers. I have the utmost respect for them because I love this game of thoroughbred horse racing. We have seen highs and lows. I can only say this, Tommy D, that we've had 2 Triple Crown winners in the last 3 or 4 years. Racing has gotten more publicity over the last 7 or 8 months than we have had in gaining 2 Triple Crown winners after 37 years of not having one and then having it repeat 2 years later. Tommy D for Jerry Hollendorfer.
Yeah, Jerry, thanks for joining us. I know you've been training since 1979. For all the listeners, 23 win percentage, 33,000 starts, 54% in the money. So you've been doing things right for a long time. You're catching a lot of slack here. What would you say to all those critics out there right now to you in your situation moving forward?
Only that, they should consider my overall record, I think there are short-term things that happen to people, and I think it happens in a lot of different sports where things don't go right. So, there's been a lot of pressure on racing here at Santa Anita during this meet. So things are, I think, more magnified. But everybody's doing the best that they can to keep their horses safe.
Jerry Hollendorfer, I have a friend, Tommy D, and I both have a friend named Tom Mansour, Blue Chip Thoroughbreds. He has a farm up there in Hemet, California. I reached out to him this morning and shared with him the situations that are ongoing. I would like to be able to hook you and Tom up in case that you need to have on a part-time basis. You need to have some of your horses stabled in barn there to ease the pain. And I would ask folks in Southern California that might be listening to this, 100 horses in 72 hours, that's quite a situation to be in. But if there's anybody that can do it, I know Jerry Hollendorfer can. Jerry, I can't tell you how sorry I am. I would urge Delmar to look at your record and allow you to come to Delmar and train and run horses there. Since December, we've had a lot of horses that have exited out of Southern California and have gone to other venues like Churchill Downs or Gulfstream Park or wherever. And this has been a problem in California for a long period of time. Not having your 100 horses here at Delmar, or how many that are stabled in Southern California, are only going to add to the problem. And I would hope that, and I'm sure they will, Tommy Robbins, David Jerkins, and Joe Harper and the whole gang over there at Delmar, I know they're quite concerned. I think the whole industry in California is concerned. I think the spotlight has been on California, and I think we've been treated quite unfairly. I know it's a situation that nobody wants to talk about, but I want to share something with you that I've researched. And I want to share with all our listening audiences that, a lot of talk is about, will the Breeders' Cup move the Breeders' Cup from Santa Anita to Churchill Downs? But if you look at the breakdown ratio at Churchill Downs has one of the worst breakdown situations in the country. So if you're going to move it out of Southern California to Churchill Downs, well, that is not anything, to hang your hat on. I don't know what to say and how anybody could rebound from what Santa Anita has gone through. It has been the ugliest of times, and my heart of doing this radio program for 25 years, been supporting racing, more so in California. And to see this happen, Tommy D, I can't believe it. Final word, Tommy D?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to ask Jerry real quick, before letting him go. Any major changes that you think could help this game in Southern California moving forward in your eyes?
Look at people can only do the best that they can do. So, I mean, you have resources that you work with and horses and the entering and all that. You can only do the best that you can. So, if it turns out that everybody has horses to run, then things will be good down at Del Mar. But I mean, so goes Los Alamitos and Del Mar. So goes Santa Anita. So it's important that that everybody does well.
Jerry, one final question. Do you feel like you've been the fall guy as far as all this going down and that you having 4 horses that have been euthanized? Do you think they used you as an example of that we're not going to tolerate any of this garbage that's going on with trainers, exercising, training horses that are injured and making a statement? Do you think you've been a fall guy for all this?
Well, I don't know. You have to ask. You'd have to ask management that. I mean, you always feel bad when you're the target and something goes wrong in your barn. But here again, we can only do the best that we can do, and that's what we're going to do. And if we're good enough, it'll work out.
Well, Jerry, we appreciate your time. You've always been a stand-up guy to our radio program and to me personally. I'm here to help you, and you can lean on me. I got an ear here. You can always chirp in my ear. I know you will rebound. It's unfortunate for everybody. I know hard decisions have to be made, and situations that we have no control over really have entered into the equation. But I want to thank you for giving up your time on this Sunday. All the best, and we'll check in with you down the road very soon.
All right, thanks a lot.
You got it. My man, Jerry Hollendorfer, always been a straight-up guy. Tommy D, I don't feel good about, the racing in California, and I don't think a lot of people do either. I know, without mentioning any names, I've talked to some people that are mainstays in this industry, and they are concerned. I know that Del Mar's concerned. We have no window of error or margin of error or any error. I mean, we have no flexibility here because everything will be under a microscope. I'm sure that when Del Mar approaches, it won't be about the hats. It won't be an opening day. It'll be about the breakdowns of what has happened at Santa Anita. And I don't know where you stand on any of this, but I think it is just one big ball of headaches and confusion that have entered into it. I don't know what I would do. Damage control, I think that you would have to hire somebody to damage control, and it would go down the line because I don't think you could ever expect Santa Anita to be hit with this situation like it has. Now, there have been more breakdowns and euthanizations in recent years, and it never got any attention, or not like it has gone and grown on the national basis that it has. But what it did do was that the numbers, 3 in one day, 2 the next, they closed, they came back, there was injuries, there was situations that escalated, and then they went 6 weeks. Nobody ever talked about the great run that Santa Anita, and I applaud, the track man up there, Tim Ritvo, and all the people that worked diligently to try to find a solution. I really did. And they went 6 weeks without any mishaps, any breakdowns, any injuries, and everything was going good. And then they had 3 that occurred. And then here came PETA, Feinstein, the governor, the district attorney, and they all came piling on Santa Anita. And it just wasn't a healthy situation. And quite frankly, I got to be very honest, I don't know if anybody could have fixed this situation or have been able to see the problems that have existed from the attention that we got. And couple that with, is Santa Anita in it for the racing, or are they in it to sell the track, or what have you? The livelihoods of many are being affected. And the trainers who have left to go into other regions and venues to race, I have literally did some work since the start of all this, and I have got to a number of 240 horses that have left California to race in other venues. Now, these are Southern California-based trainers that are training in California that have left the state and sent a string of their horses, 20, 25, 30, whatever the case might be. This does not really seem to be the right route to go when we have a horse shortage, Tommy D. And it's a problem that we've experienced way before Santa Anita opened up, because we've always had a horse problem. And I can remember talking with Toby Terrell just prior to Del Mar opening, or for Santa Anita opening. And Toby said, we're going to have a major problem. And I said, what's the problem? He said, there just aren't any horses.
Yeah, definitely. It's something we've been talking about, being on an island out here in California. So, with Jerry Hollendorfer, this gives him the opportunity to move his horses to a spot where there's more places to run. But Jerry Hollendorfer has been here in Southern California for a while. But it comes down to these, the horse shortage is, we need to find more horses. There needs to be more incentives for the owners and, trainers, whatnot, to keep them here. And sometimes I think really what these out-of-state, places is that are getting casino money, which is really helping with the racing and bringing people to the track. I think that's something that we're missing here in Southern California. But in other states, that helps out quite a bit with those purses, Oaklawn Parks, some of these smaller tracks, even in Maryland, some good racing there, some good purses. That are keeping these smaller trainers in some of the, mid-sized trainers, winning and making some money along the way.
Yeah, it's a situation that I think is plaguing thoroughbred horse racing, and all I know is that, and I say this from the deepest part of my heart, that there are trainers out there that take better care of their horses than they take care of themselves. And if you go back on the backstretch of Doug O'Neill, or you go to a Craig Lewis or a John Sadler, or to a John Sheriffs, or to any one of those horsemen, and horsewomen as well. I know Donna Keene and Dallas Keene, their horses are like family members to them. And I think that the love that we have for the horses itself has sort of been the undertide, where that everybody's talking about the euthanization. Let's talk about those folks who get up 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning every single day. There's no off day if you're taking care of horses. The horses have to eat, they have to be bathed, they have to be, taken care of, groomed, whatever the case might be. And these people take good care of their horses. If you have an opinion in regard to the Jerry Hollendorfer interview, or if you have an opinion, let me release a number for you. It's 866 977 2346. That's 866 977 2346.